Hi everyone, I'm the Tax Pro, and today we're going to talk about creating recurring invoices in QuickBooks Online. Recurring invoices are going to be different than recurring payments. So, recurring invoices are going to go out to clients, letting them know that they owe us money, but there will be no processing of actual payments. QuickBooks Online also allows you to create recurring payments. So, if you have an agreement with a customer, that you can run their card or pull an ACH or something along those lines, or they agree to set that up, you can actually go in and create a recurring payment rather than a recurring invoice. So the recurring invoice is going to create a invoice, not a payment. Okay, they're two different things. So in order to navigate there, we first need to navigate to the create invoice page. So it's the easiest way to do this. And this is the dashboard. So there's a couple of different ways we can navigate to creating an invoice. We can click create invoice here. We could click plus create and go to invoice. You can also navigate there through the sales and get paid menu. There's an invoice section and an overview section. I'm going to use this plus create invoice because that's going to be what's going to be consistently available to you. Okay, so let's talk about what we're going to be doing with this recurring invoice. We want to send our customer, say Alfred, we want to send Alfred a recurring invoice every single month because every month he orders 100 keychains. So we have an agreement with him that we are going to have this 100 keychain order for 12 months. Okay, so we are going to enter an email for your customer if you want this to automatically be emailed to the client. You don't have to, but it's extremely helpful, really boosts your productivity if you go ahead and just automatically send it. So we want to make sure that the email is there. Now, the rest of this is really initially just setting up a good invoice. So we want to make sure that we have our terms correct. You don't have to necessarily worry about the date when creating a recurring invoice because the date is going to be modified based on, when it's sending. But we do want to make sure that our terms are correct. So due on receipt, for example. Then you're going to go ahead and format your invoice. If you have questions on how to do this, I do have a video on creating an invoice. We can go ahead and X out of this little menu to the left or to the right. So you have turtle keychains, 100 of them. You can put a description in here and you can put information to Alfred on how to pay you. You can put information, this is a note to the customer. The same thing that you can do on a standard invoice can be done on recurring invoices. Now we're going to make this recurring. So in order to do that, we're going to come up here to this little gear icon that says manage. And you're going to see there's a couple of different options here. This fourth one, or the second from the bottom, is scheduling. And this is where we can make this invoice recurring. So we can say, okay, we want to make it recurring. We're going to set a template name. So make sure that this name is something that's going to allow you to easily identify what this recurring invoice is for. And then you can choose scheduled, reminder, or on-scheduled. We're going to want to do scheduled because we want this to be on a specific schedule, right? You might also have a reminder for sending reminders to customers about invoices, or you can have an on-scheduled, which essentially this is a template that you are going to pull in when you need it. So maybe we know that Alfred's always going to order 100 keychains. We don't know exactly when it's going to be. So we just create this template that every time he then brings in an order, it's already set up for us. On schedule is going to be really helpful if you have a customer that orders like a invoice with a large number of line items. I'm going to leave this as scheduled. And then you can go ahead and create the invoice a number of days in advance. This is not required. I'm going to ignore this for Alfred's purpose for this demo. But the reason that you may want to create an invoice in advance is if you want that invoice to be dated earlier than the date that you sent it. Then we can have this automatically send emails. So if we know that this is always consistently going to be this 100 for this 12 months, we can just set up QuickBooks to automatically include or automatically send that email to that client. If you do this, you have to have an email for your client. You can include unbilled charges if you would like, or mark it as print later. These are other options as well. If you want to like maybe print it later or make sure that you're pulling in unbilled charges that are sitting on that client's account. Now we are going to set the schedule for having this transaction repeat. In our scenario, we want this to repeat every month, and we want it to come on the first of the month. However, we can absolutely change this. So we could have it recur daily or every so many days. So we could do daily and then have it recur like every 3 days. You can have it weekly, or you can have it recur every 2 weeks. If you select weekly for the repeat schedule, you do need to select what day you want this invoice to go out. You can select monthly, and then you can have it, every 6 months or every 3 months if you want to bill quarterly. Or you could select annually. And then with a yearly repeat schedule, you're going to pick the specific month and day that you want this sent out. We're going to do monthly, and we are going to do it every 1 month on the first of the month. I want this to start next month on the 1st of October. And then you can put an ending date in here. So if we say that it's never going to end, we would have to manually go in and cancel this recurring invoice template. And at that point in time, that's when it would end. However, we know that we are going to, we want this to occur 12 times, right? So we can say that we want it to end after 12 occurrences. You could also say we want it to end by a specific date. So we could say we want it to end by, 10/15 of 2020. So actually that would give us 13. Sorry. We want it to end 9/15, 2026. And so this will allow the invoices to go out from October of 2025 through the 1st of September of 2026. At that point in time, we're going to save the template. And then this is going to take us back to whatever page we were on. Now, if you want to pull up that recurring invoice to go ahead and edit it, you can. And in order to do that, the easiest way is to go up here to this gear icon. Under lists, you'll see where it says recurring transactions. And right here, it is going to be under Alfred Turtle Keychain. So it's going to give us the template name. It's going to tell us the type. So this is schedule. It is going to give us the transaction type. So there's multiple different types of recurring transactions that will be listed here. And it's going to give us interval, previous date if it's been sent out, the next date it's scheduled to send out on spend one, the customer or vendor, the amount, and then it gives us options to edit. We can duplicate, pause, skip the next date, delete it. Or we can have it converted to a recurring payment. So maybe offers like, hey, it's just easier instead of us paying you if you go ahead and just set up a recurring payment. We'll give you a payment type, payment method that we would like to use, and then you can go ahead and just pull it. Notice that in addition to coming up to this gear icon, you can also go to the My Apps section, go to accounting, and then go to recurring transactions, and it will take you to this page right here. So there's a couple of different ways that you can navigate here in order to edit this recurring invoice. If you have any questions, please let me know. Hopefully this video was helpful. If it was, please consider giving us a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.